Thank you for joining the MMA Session. My name's David, and I'm here with...
The Modern Man.
Alright, we're taking a look at UFC 238, which is happening this weekend in Chicago. Henry Cejudo headlining versus Marlon Moraes for the bantamweight belt.
Heck yeah, man. This is going to be a fantastic card. I'm super excited for this, dude. You have no idea.
This card is deep from top to bottom.
Right here near home, too, man. We're lucky.
Alright, we're going to do some quick picks before we dive into the main card. The first fight of the night is Joanne Calderwood versus Katlyn Chookagian. I'm going to go with Katlyn Chookagian. I think she has more refined striking and better movement. What do you think about this one?
Joanne Calderwood comes in with the record of 13-3. Katlyn Chookagian comes with a record of 11-2. Honestly, I'm going to pick Katlyn Chookagian as well, but I do like Joanne Calderwood, so I hope she wins. The second fight of the night will be Bevan Lewis, who's 6-1, versus Darren Stewart, who is 9-4. I'm gonna go with Bevan Lewis. I really like him as a fighter. You know, he did lose his last fight, but he definitely looks promising. What do you got?
I'm gonna go with Lewis on this one too. He just seems a little more versatile with his strikes, and he puts on a high pace. After that, we got Yan Xiaonan versus Angela Hill. I'm going to go with Yan in this one. I think she hits with intent, and she has nasty sidekicks. What do you think?
Yan is not just height. She showed that she's very versatile, well-rounded, extremely strong. I see her being able to control Angela Hill, so I got Yan as well. Fourth fight of the night, Ricardo Lamas, 19-7. At this point in his career, versus Calvin Kattar, who's 19-3. My goodness, this is going to be a very fun, chaotic fight for as long as it lasts. And I don't mean chaotic as in they have bad technique. I'm going to go with Calvin Kattar. Ricardo Lamas is, respected. I don't think he's doing too great in his career right now. And Calvin Kattar's very good at his striking, very big, very powerful. I think he's going to hit his streak right now. He's going to win right here with Ricardo Lamas and start hitting a little stride.
I got to go with Kattar too, man. He has a nasty jab, and that pretty much sets up and opens up the rest of his offense. Also, the length advantage is going to play a big part in this fight. All right, after that, we got Karolina Kowalkiewicz versus Alexa Grasso. I got Karolina on this one. She just has the experience, the more refined striking, and Grasso's still young in her career, fairly young in her career.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go ahead and agree with you on this one. Karolina hasn't had very good outcomes her last couple fights. Not exactly what she wanted to go. I definitely want her to win here. I think she's going to win. Alexa Grasso is a great addition to UFC. I just think she's not experienced enough to deal with someone like Karolina, nor has shown the versatility in striking to make Karolina defensive. The sixth fight of the night is going to be Aljamain Sterling versus Pedro Munhoz. Man, this is going to be a fun fight as well. Bantamweight, Aljamain Sterling is coming in at 17-3. Pedro Munhoz is coming in at 18-3. Aljamain Sterling, he looks like he's ready. He's in his technical prime. He looks focused, ready to go right now. But I'm going to go ahead and pick Pedro Munhoz. I think that he's been overlooked. He's going to take this opportunity and be able to actually take Aljamain down and or just catch him with a good strike. I'm going with the underdog.
Well, you made a good point for Aljamain Sterling. He's really improved on his striking and overall MMA game. Coupled with his wrestling game, I think that's going to be enough to beat Pedro Munhoz. And for the main event of the prelims, we got Tatiana Suarez, undefeated, 7-0, versus Nina Ansaroff at 10-5. What can I say? Tatiana Suarez's wrestling game is nasty, and I think she's the future of the division. I'm going to take her in this fight as well. How do you see it going?
The main event of the prelims, and I respect it and love it. Tatiana Suarez, I'm definitely on the bandwagon. Love wrestlers, definitely female wrestlers that are dominant. I see her being the future of the division at some point. I see her dominating Nina Asarov. I definitely respect Nina Asarov and what she's done. I'm not trying to put her down. If she wins, all credit to her. But I got Tatiana Suarez, and I hope she gets good notoriety after this fight, more than she's already getting. And on to the main card. For the first fight of the night, we have Tuivasa versus Blagoy Ivanov. Tuivasa is 8-1. Blagoy Ivanov's coming in at 17-2. Ty's been looking great in the UFC. He's an athletic, large heavyweight. He looks very promising for the division. Blagoy Ivanov has been exceeding expectations so far in his run in the UFC. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, I believe so. He looked good debuting against Dos Santos, and he beat Bren Rothwell in his last fight, which he's no slouch.
He's been showing that he has good boxing. He's coming in with skills to pay the bills right now in the UFC. But this is actually a good matchup for him, I would say. Tuivasa hasn't been showing that he's a very technical striker. He's just been showing that he's a very athletic heavyweight. So I say this is going to be a good fight. This is another fight that I think Blagoy has a good chance of winning, actually. So this is why I think it's going to be an entertaining fight as long as nobody gets tired, which so far Blagoy's been showing he has a good gas tank. So I'm actually going to go with Blagoy in this fight. I think Blagoy is going to come in there with his experience and understanding what he needs to do, and I think he's going to be able to take control of the fight. He shows he has a great chin. I don't think Tuivasa's athleticism is going to give him an opportunity to knock Blagoy Ivanov out, at least not in this fight.
Yeah, Tuivasa, his game plan isn't anything complicated. He's trying to land his right hand. He's knocked down multiple UFC opponents. I think his athleticism is actually going to help him land that shot on Blagoy. Blagoy does have good boxing, but Ty just crashes in hard. And after he breaks that distance and gets you in the fence, he'll throw an elbow. He'll throw his right hand over and over until he lands it. And he throws with intent. I think he's going to find the knockout in the first round and start the card off right.
Oh, there we go. And also, I think Blagoy's going to win by via decision, by the way. I didn't say the method, but there's the method.
All right, and the next fight after that is Jimmie Rivera versus Petr Yan, 2 top 10 contenders in the bantamweight division. Rivera's at 22-3, while Petr Yan's sitting at 12-1. Petr Yan's been looking impressive in the European circuit, and this is a big step in competition for him, fighting Jimmie Rivera. They both have similar styles in boxing and the wrestling. And I think Petr Yan just mixes it a little bit better, especially for MMA. He throws fluid combos. He incorporates his kicks. And his double leg takedowns are well timed. I got Petr Yan in a unanimous decision.
Petr Yan is known as the master of sport of boxing in Russia. Petr Yan is the master of sport in boxing in his home country of Russia. Petr Yan also has shown to have a very good center of gravity and takedown defense. Petr Yan is a very well-rounded fighter. Very good addition to this weight class. Kind of like a dark horse, in my opinion. He's my dark horse of the weight class. See him creeping up for title contention very soon. So obviously, with that being said, I'm picking Petr Yan. It's not that I'm dissing on Jimmie Rivera. Jimmie Rivera coming in at 22-3 is no slouch, but Jimmie Rivera has about 16 decision wins. I'm very sure he has 16 decision wins. Jimmie Rivera is looking to take you down, hold you down, secure a position, and I don't think he's going to be able to do that to Petr Yan. And I also think Petr Yan has better combinations, much better footwork to close the distance and land very powerful counter punches. I actually have Petr Yan winning the second round knockout. TKO. So I don't think he's going to be able to take down Jimmie. If Jimmie Rivera's going to be able to take him down, I think Petr Yan's going to come with some good cardio.
Petr Yan does have that high strike rate, about 6 a minute, which is insane. And going with the finish, Jimmie Rivera is not easy to finish, man.
Well, I know. I'm just feeling Petr Yan right now.
Bold.
Bold indeed. Speaking of bold, bold is just one word of many that you could use to describe Tony Ferguson's fighting style. Tony Ferguson is coming into this bout 24 wins, 3 losses. Donald Cowboy Cerrone, a.k.a. Dad Cerrone, is coming in with a record of 36-11. This fight is going to be beautiful chaos personified into a blessing given to us by the fight gods.
I agree. I mean, you just look at last year, Donald Cerrone was in a different division. We didn't even think that this fight could possibly happen.
Absolutely, and I'm so happy it is happening. One of the few fights that Donald Cerrone hasn't been in already, being the most winningest fighter in UFC history. So, as much as it hurts my heart to pick somebody on this fight, I just have to. So, with that being said, as we look over Tony Ferguson's history, we know that he is always putting forward momentum, always putting pressure, attacking you with every part of his body besides his forehead. And I'm just talking about standing up, not using his forehead, because we know when he gets to the ground, he'll use anything at that point. Donald Cerrone is beautiful kicker, powerful kicker, great striker. The control that he put on Ally Quinta on the feet, my goodness, the way he was able to move around and avoid him and land his own shots and be in it and also take punches when he ended up taking punches. It was beautiful to witness Donald Cerrone surgically destroy and beat the brakes off Ally Quinta. And I'm not trying to disrespect Ally Quinta. He said that for himself, did he not?
Ally Quinta is no joke. He took the Khabib fight in short notice and lasted all 5 rounds. That's a testament to itself.
Absolutely. But Donald Cerrone has been known to kind of choke up during the most opportune moments in his career. So we'll see if this ends up being one of them. Tony Ferguson has a lot to prove to casuals still who don't necessarily know his name, but to the people who diehard fans and anyone who's really into MMA knows Tony Ferguson is an absolute animal and, in my opinion, the most deserving interim champ currently. No offense to Dustin Poirier, that's a different topic. As Tony Ferguson comes at you with his forward momentum, will Donald Cerrone be able to plant his feet or keep Tony Ferguson at bay with his strikes? That's the real question that will be asked coming into this fight.
Both these guys are great strikers. They both have the great Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu ground game. I think what it's going to come down to is the pace of the fight. And nobody puts a pace like Tony Ferguson. No one controls the pace and the distance like Tony Ferguson. He's so awkward where if he's not feeling it, he'll throw random straight elbow. Or he'll go for his Imanari roll or just fake the takedown whenever he's not feeling that the fight's going his way. Cerrone has always shown that he needs time to make adjustments in his reads. I don't think Tony's going to give him the space or the opportunity to make any of those reads. I got Tony, unanimous decision in an almost dominant fashion.
That's totally understanding. Everybody can reason with that pick. But I give Donald Cerrone a really good fighting chance in this fight, as many people should. It won't be surprising to see in the betting odds right now. I'm not currently aware of the betting odds.
It has to be split, man. Who can really bet against any of these guys?
I know that I absolutely can't. I think that what you mentioned about pace being a big deal is going to be important, and I think Donald Cerrone is really going to have to show the next level ability to take the pressure that Tony Ferguson is going to give him, who's actually a larger fighter than Ally Quinta is. Ally Quinta did show that he could land on Cowboy, but he was also the smaller person in that fight with a significant reach advantage, in my opinion, that at least was obvious in the fight. I'm going to pick Tony Ferguson as well. I like Tony Ferguson. I like Donald Cerrone. It's not a diss on either one. But I'm going to go with Tony Ferguson. I think he's going to apply the pressure, keep Donald Cerrone on his back foot. Donald Cerrone's not going to be able to find his stride and not going to be able to find his groove. Tony Ferguson's too unpredictable. He's going to come in, bring pure chaos to the fight, land a lot of strikes, put a lot of damage on Cowboy Cerrone, take a lot as well, but he'll be able to endure and win via decision, I believe.
That's highly likely. The winner of this fight has to get the next title shot after Dustin Poirier.
This is this fight that's set up for the next title contention fight. Absolutely. In the lightweight division, it's beautiful to see it back on track. I'm glad to see everything moving. People are going to start moving around the rankings. Matchups are going to be made. And I hope we just get away from Conor McGregor while he enjoys the stacks of money and gets out of the MMA for a little bit of a while he finds himself in this beautiful Irish whiskey.
Moving on to the co-main events of the evening, we have the first of two title fights. Valentina Shevchenko seeking her first title defense versus Jessica Ai. Valentina has a record of 16-3 and Ai's sitting at 14-6. I think this fight's really going to come down to experience. Valentina was a top contender at 135. She beat Holly Holm up there. She went 5 rounds with Amanda. She dropped down, fought for the vacant title against Joanna. What other benefits are you seeing with this move down?
She doesn't have to fight women that are significantly bigger than her. She already showed that she has all the technique to compete with those women, even if they are bigger than her. But now being in a weight class where the women are mostly going to be your same size means all that technique and the natural power she possesses is going to really allow her to dominate this weight class. But I believe a little bit of background on Jessica Ai is important to come across. Jessica Ai is 14-6. Jessica Ai has 3 KOs, 1 submission, and 10 decision victories. But let's break that down a little bit. One of those TKO victories is from doctor stoppage, November 15th, 2014. Her other 2 TKO victories came from 2 of her first 3 pro victories as an MMA fighter. That being said, she's a decision fighter. She's looking to score, and she's looking to play that long-term game. Jessica Ai has good boxing. She's a powerful woman and pretty decent wrestling. Wouldn't say it's the best, wouldn't say it's the worst, despite what some people say. I think her physique is probably her best attribute in this fight. The fact that she's strong, low to the ground, similar in stature to Valentina is actually going to be something Valentina might not actually be used to. Going against someone who's so strong and powerful, similar in stature to her. But overall, I see Valentina winning the clinch battles, winning the kickboxing range exchanges, which is what all striking exchanges start at in MMA. And I believe Jessica Ai leaves her head on the center line and she throws long combinations. Valentina's going to find her shots, and I believe Valentina has potential to finish this fight in the 4th round via TKO, and if not, she'll just get another victory via decision like she always does. But this can be a fun fight to watch. Jessica Ai's a dog. She loves coming in there to get down in a scrap, throw them hands. So, who knows? She might just make this a brawl, turn this into something surprising.
I think, though, at the end of the night, Valentina's going to have her first title defense, unanimous decision.
And now it's time to talk about the main event of the evening. Henry Cejudo is coming into this fight at 14-2. Marlon Moraes is coming into this fight 22-5-1. This is going to be a very entertaining, skillful fight. In my opinion, it's justified that these two fight. I know that some people were disputing that there should have been other bantamweights fighting for this belt in the absence of TJ Dillashaw ever since what happened with the EPO drug dilemma. But in my opinion, Henry Cejudo being the last person to defeat TJ Dillashaw is rightfully next to contend for the vacant title, even if it was a victory in a different weight class. He still defeated him. That's still a win. That being said, Marlon Moraes is going on a hot streak right now. He's KOing people. He's showing a dynamics X factor. He's showing dynamic athleticism, timing, precision. He looks like a machine out there. He looks like he was sculpted from clay. And he's bigger than Henry. Significantly bigger, in my opinion. I also don't like the mentality Henry's coming into this fight with. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, he's coming in too cocky. And he's just really into his little gimmick that he's pulling. I think that's a distraction, and he should be taking Moraes serious. Moraes is nasty quick with his switch kick. He feints with his hands, he feints with his hips, and you could see why these feints work just by looking at the film. The knockouts he has over Jimmie Rivera, the knockout he had against Aljamain Sterling. These are very impressive wins. He also finished Rafael Sunsao. He submitted him, but he got him to the ground with his strikes.
Yeah, he showed that he was still dangerous later in the fight, had the ability to hurt someone and proceed to finish them. I don't like the mentality Henry Cejudo's coming into this fight with. He looks a little too emotional for me, and he's talking too much about getting a finish, when in my opinion he should be worrying about a victory, because Marlon Moraes has that X factor and that athleticism that should worry anybody that you can't account for most of the time, which means you have to play safe, and you shouldn't be worrying so focused on getting a finish to prove yourself. So for that reason, I'm going to go with Marlon Moraes. I think they're both going to be very skilled fighters. I think Marlon's going to find where Henry's lacking defensively. He's going to find the range, being the bigger man. He's not going to be able to be taken down. He has a great center of gravity, great takedown defense. He's the bigger man. He's going to keep the fight standing, show that he's still dangerous later on in the fight, and beat Henry via decision after 5 rounds. What do you think is going to happen?
I see Moraes taking this in the second round finish to end a night of memorable fights. With that being said, I hope you guys enjoy the fights.